Calls for more attention here in Western Mass to roads that are in desperate need of repairs. Welcome to Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Jordan Jaglenzer. Problems on local roads is something that we've heard loud and clear from our viewers. The main issue seems to be money. And now a new study looks into the problems and is stirring up conversations both on the state and federal level.
Our Western Mass News reporter Briseida Landaverde joins us live after getting answers on what's being done now. Briseida.
Yeah, Chris and Jordan, well, the study is calling for funding to be increased from $200 to $300 million annually. The study is also calling for the formula to change from road mileage to population, which currently puts Western Mass at a disadvantage.
We've got so many bridges and roads around our region that are, structurally deficient, on the verge of collapse.
This is video captured by Western Mass News this summer in Belchertown after a beaver dam broke and left severe damage. And in Palmer, residents were frustrated by the conditions on Rondeau Street, cones, rocks, and ditches seen all along the way. In both cases, calls for funding for repairs followed. But there is hope now. State officials are taking action.
Mr. Chairman and committee members, I respectfully ask you to consider these proposals. First, a rural rescue plan. It's a challenge to the entire Commonwealth to recognize regional equity and support those communities whose very viability depends upon state support for infrastructure.
This week, State Auditor Suzanne Bump released a report calling for a rural rescue plan for Western Mass that would increase funding for the Chapter 90 program, which provides funding for roadways, bridges, and sidewalks. In addition, the program would create a public infrastructure agency and enhance access to broadband.
I think the report confirms a lot of things that we already knew, which is Western Mass is really at a disadvantage and frankly gets the short end of the stick when it comes to funding from Boston.
State Senator Eric Lesser weighing in on the news, saying the report made it very clear Western Mass receives less funding for road repairs compared to the eastern part of the state.
The state writes more than $1 billion check to Boston every year to support the MBTA, and that is often very worthy funding, but there's no balance.
This is an issue he is actively working to resolve for residents in our area.
We need, for example, to rewrite our local aid formula to make it more equitable. We need to rewrite the formula for how roads are funded in Western Mass, and we need more resources for broadband.
Congressman Richard Neal, the chair of the House Ways and Means Committee, also chiming in. He hopes President Joe Biden's infrastructure bill passes, but says ultimately it's up to the state on how funds are distributed.
Federal money for road and transit, it comes from obviously Washington, but it goes to the state. And the state they make the decision as to how that money is allocated.
And Congressman Richard Neal says some of the bigger projects in the eastern part of the state have delayed initiatives both in central and here in Western Mass. Now, many people are reviewing this at this time. For now, reporting live, Briseida Landaverde for Western Mass News.